What now is President Trump going to do, right? I know he's just returned to where you are from Mar-a-Lago. What is he saying as we hear this now escalating to, as Jeremy says, a new front?
There are still so many questions, Aaron. I just want to be very clear. President Trump and no member of the administration has actually taken consistent questions from the press. Generally, in a situation like this, there would be a press conference or the White House press pool would be brought in after an enormous strike like this. And we still just don't have answers. And just for example, there are still questions about why we did this now. Of course, as you mentioned, the Israeli prime minister this is something that he has been wanting for decades. For the United States, this is something that we have been actively avoiding, and President Trump included in that. And yesterday, in a background briefing with administration officials, they implied that it had to happen now, that this attack on Iran had to happen now because there was intel that there was a there was a potential for preeminent strikes on Americans from Iran. So this had to happen. What we have just learned, and this is my colleagues or our colleagues, Natasha, Bertrand, and Zach Cohen, are learning that in a briefing today, Pentagon briefers actually undercut that argument when talking to Capitol Hill staffers and briefing them, saying there was no imminent threat, but they just pointed to the fact that they have a ballistics program and said that historically speaking, we cannot let them attack Americans. Well, this is something that has been true for a long time. And just to add on top of that, President Trump has done a series of these kind of 3 to 5 minute phone interviews with reporters. And in one of them, he was asked why now. And President Trump said they weren't willing to stop their nuclear research. So that is something we haven't been able to pin down. The other thing we haven't been able to pin down is an actual timeline. We've gone everywhere from 4 weeks to 1 week to 2 days. President Trump tonight came home from the White House. He usually stops and talks to the press. He completely ignored us, instead stopped and admired some new statues that were being put into the Rose Garden. We hadn't seen them before. They appear to be the founding fathers, saying, come look at them. They're unbelievable. And then walked away. And we were shouting questions. What is your message for the families of these service members who were killed? How long are we going to be in this conflict? We have so little answers right now. We don't know what's going to happen next.